What's going on, Charles Boneston? This is going to be more of a technique over anything, which is when shit goes down, when things are on your hand like your hair, you need something to actually just get through the moment. Someone passes away, something happens in your life where you're going bankrupt, you're at the gym, something is happening where you just say, I just want to make sure my mic is working, where you just say, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle this. I don't know who to go to. I don't know what to do. And it could be even a small thing. During the day, a deal doesn't go through, or you get a crappy text, or a date cancels on you, or the guy says no to you, or you go through a breakup, or whatever the case is. It could be something small, or it could be something big. Obviously, over time, something big, time heals everything. Yes, we understand. However, one of the biggest things that I noticed, and I actually got it from this surrender experiment. Sorry, my watch is really bothering me right now. It's a little too tight on my wrist. So the surrender experiment by Michael A. Singer. If you haven't read it, it's linked below. It's probably one of the best books I've ever read. I actually have it right over here. One of the biggest things about it is what he does continuously is he breathes in the emotion, he feels it, and then he breathes it out. So in other words, you just lost a deal and you're pissed off, you're angry, or someone else went with, say an owner went with someone else, or your date canceled, or your date says no, or this guy's not texting you back, or your parents are pissed at you, or something happens, you get into an accident, you feel it, and you're like, you literally feel like you're breathing in something fresh, it enters your body. This is the actual feeling that you go through. It enters your body, it mixes around in your body, and then everything else comes out. The jealousy, the anger, the rage, the whatever emotion you're feeling. If you're pissed off or you're sad or you're whatever the actual whatever feelings are being brought because of this event or because of what's occurring. So I'll give you an example. A friend of mine who I went to high school with, we sort of lost touch over 2 years. I helped him buy the apartment over 2 years. Actually, it was probably two and a half years. And he ended up going with another broker to list his apartment to sell. That hurt a lot because it's a friend. We don't talk as often as we should. And he just went with someone else. And that was the thing, is that I literally remember right after I read the book, The Surrender Experiment, I remember going, and then feeling the anger and the rage of like, why did you choose someone else? Like coursing through my veins in my body, not like to a deep extent, and then just like blowing it out, just letting it out, just letting that feeling out, letting that emotion out. Honestly, even do it now. Just breathing has to be one of the biggest things. It's not breathing where your shoulders, you can't even really see my shoulders right now this way. Can't even really see my shoulders, but you're not breathing where, because that's not really breathing. That's your upper, that's your lungs. But breathe in your belly, so your belly, your diaphragm actually moves out at the bottom, because that means oxygen is actually going. When you breathe, your shoulders should not move up. Your diaphragm needs to move. And that's the biggest thing, is if you're a diver or you're a swimmer or someone else, your diaphragm, they need to build, especially if you're an athlete, you need as much oxygen as you can, because oxygen literally cleans out everything, especially when you're working out and you're doing anaerobic exercise, which is like your VO2 max. So essentially VO2, it's like when you're reaching the highest heart rate and your blood is trying to pump as much as it can, you're breathing as hard as you can, and you're just trying to clean out all the lactic acid. You're trying to just, like you're cycling really fast. And the thing is, if you have a really good, like I have, I definitely can get a lot better. I'm probably like 60% on my capacity within my lungs. And the reason being is that I now breathe like, I'm like looking at it, I'm breathing really deep. And it's weird in the beginning because you literally release all of your abs. You're used to breathing with your abs tight. And that's the thing, is that now, instead of, see, my shoulders go up. The other one is, I'm like breathing out. So you breathe it in, you hold it, and then you go, and you're like releasing that feeling of whatever you're feeling at that moment. I can tell you right now, this has literally saved me multiple times from being angry. And the thing is, why? Because if you don't do this, if you don't have some kind of technique to release the tension, to release the feeling, the emotion that's going through your body, guess what happens? Your cortisol spikes. Guess what happens? Your heart rate spikes. Guess what happens? If it happens for 10 minutes, not a big deal. If it happens for 15 minutes, not a big deal. But if it continuously happens for the course of that day, then you go into the next day and you think about that, you're now in a state of stress. That's stressful. Okay, it wasn't a stress event where you went on a long bike ride and you're exercising and it was stressful in the heart and whatever, and then you stopped and you rested and then you never thought about it again or you never did it again. That's different. But if you continuously think in your mind and you raise your cortisol levels, I can't even tell you how bad that is. Number one, physically, you start losing your hair. You go gray. Your skin starts wrinkling. Number 4 is that your fingernails, they don't grow. Your hair doesn't grow. Like literally when you're not in a stressed state, your hair grows amazing. You look incredible. Your nails, everything grows. Because when you're in a stressful state, your body goes to, what do I need right now and what do I not need? Whatever I don't need, which is I don't need to grow my nails. I don't care about my hair because I'm in a stressful state. Stressful state back in the day was like protecting your family from an animal or going out in battle or war against another tribe. Like that was stressful. But the thing is, if you stayed in that state, that's when you're the non-essentials, that's what they call it, the non-essentials, nothing happens. And then your body starts saying, okay, if this is what we need to get used to, we don't even need hair, we don't even need to grow, we need to go to our organs and everything else. So wow, that was a long video about probably, I don't know, absolutely nothing. But as I hit the camera stand, really the biggest thing is breathe in through your diaphragm, hold it, breathe out. See? Just do it once. It's amazing. I feel like I was just in a crazy state right there, and now I'm feeling like I'm not 100%, but I feel a lot better. And I can actually, through this, see my heart rate is 90 right now. 89. It was actually at 113, now 88, 87. Look at this. It's now at 87. It went down 3, you can't really see it, but now it's at 85. This is something I highly recommend, is getting your heart rate. You need to know your heart rate, because if your heart rate is continuously high, obviously I'm in a very excited state, but if your resting heart rate is too high, that means you're putting too much pressure on your heart to get blood flowing through your body, because it's using way too much energy and not way too much energy, way too much stress, way too much, it's using way too much pressure to push blood through your body all the way to the ends of your fingers and your toes and then back up through your body. And if that happens, you're not in shape. That's putting way too much stress on your heart. And then over time, guess what? You have a heart attack or you have a stroke. And obviously there's a lot more involved in that. But breathe in, breathe out, subscribe to the video, have an awesome day, sign up for the seminar below. I will see you then. Write all your questions and I will talk to you tomorrow.